I'm going to split this up into two parts, so sit back and enjoy part one. Now my collection is only 40 games. Depending on who you ask, it could be a very small collection or a very big collection. Compared to the other hardcore collectors, it's a very small collection. But anyway, here we go. First game up is Alien Trilogy. Get the greatest hits version, the neon green. I remember this game scaring the hell out of me because of the face hugger. When I was first playing it, I saw them. I did not know they'd come to the screen and just scared the living crap out of me. So, always playing this game, there was always that fear of, where the face hugger is. But otherwise, the other game, I don't think I ever finished it. It was pretty difficult for me at the time, but still fun. So, Alien Trilogy. Next game was Army Men Sarge's Heroes 2. This is of the Army Men game line. There was a bunch of them. This one I played it, beat it in a few days, so it was pretty short. Still fun at the time. They haven't made, surprised they haven't made any Army Men games of late, not that I remember, but still, there was a bunch of these back then, and I own one of them, so Army Men Sarge's Heroes 2. Next up, we got Bloody Roar, a fighting game where you turn into animals. I remember playing as the gorilla and maybe the lion, but this was another fun game. With all the rehashes and reboots, I'm surprised this one didn't get a treatment with today's graphics. It could be really cool. So there was a second one. I didn't own it, but Bloody Roar. Next up, Death Trap Dungeon. Don't remember too much of this. I remember playing the first level of it. After that, it was, what can you expect from the title? I think I just bought it because of the cover. It was cool. So it was third-person action game. Bunch of, dungeons, of course. Big spiders. But never beating it. So, there you go. Death Trap Dungeon. And we have Dino Crisis 2. Much different from the first one. The first one was very, survival horror-esque. This one's more, more guns, more action-y. I beat this game a couple times. I think it had some kind of new game plus where you can take your guns over, level up into the next game, so that was fun. It was pretty short because I remember beating it a couple times. I could just run through the game there. But Dino Crisis 2. Yeah, I'm surprised Capcom has done another one of these. I remember the last one's for Xbox, Dino Crisis 3 on the ship, but Dino Crisis 4 could be cool. Alright. I think this was the last game that I got for PlayStation, and that was Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. I don't have the cover, I don't know where I put the instruction booklet for, but this one had all the fighters. I remember, I don't know if this came between the Budokai series, but this was a game that I only heard about a couple years before. I think even the game came out and had all the characters and stuff, so I was really looking forward to it. Never came over, but then finally did, so I got that. So Ultimate Battle 22. Alright, this one, next game, Fear Effect. I remember buying this on a school trip to Washington, D.C. I had enough money to buy this, so 4 discs. Had the cartoon, the anime style graphics, which was really cool. Puzzle solving. I got up to the last disc. I couldn't finish it off though, but I just got stuck at the end in trouble. But the cinematics, the story was pretty cool. So Fear Effect. There's also a second one of this, but I know I'm not getting a lot of sequels for PlayStation. But next up, Final Fantasy Anthology. This came with Final Fantasies 5 and 6. I played 5, never did play 6, even though I should, because 6 is, regarded as one of the best ones or the better ones. But it's old school RPG, time-based, neon green, greatest hits though. I don't know, the glare is still messed up, but alright. So Final Fantasy Anthology. Next two games gonna be Final Fantasy games, and who doesn't have this? Any RPG fan? Final Fantasy VII, much regarded as whether this is the best or just overrated, but this was one of the early Final Fantasies I played, so I'll always like it. Story still, who understands the story still, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun to play. so many spin-offs from this one game. So next up, I do not have Final Fantasy VIII, but I do have 9. 8 was, also regarded as one of the better ones. This one, I almost finished also. I don't finish a lot of games, it seems, but I got to the 3rd disc of, like, the sand pits area. If I went back to it now, I wouldn't know where the hell to go, but it took me, like, 2 tries to get into this game. I played it once for, like, a half hour, and then I put it aside for a couple months, and I went back to it, and, I really enjoyed it, so Final Fantasy IX has a little chip there I got from... I remember getting this from GameStop, and they forgot one of the discs inside. I think I bought it used, so I had to go drive all the way back there and get it. Bunch of jerks, but whatever. Final Fantasy IX. Now, we have Machine Head. Put some Pokemon stickers, whatever. This one, I remember getting at, like, a Bob's store, Bob's wholesale store, whatever. Got it based off the cover. I don't know if it was horrible because it bad gameplay or it was just horrible. There you go. Yeah, this one I did not play at all too much. Maybe the first level or so. It's like a first-person shooter where she's like in a cart gun, whatever. About some viruses and whatnot, but there you go, Machine Head. Now, next up, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Now, one of my biggest regrets was selling off Marvel vs. Capcom, the first one, but this one, I don't think it's as real, but it was also fun. This one, crossovers was always an awesome thing. I don't know if this came before Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm not sure. I'm not a history buff on that, but there you go. X-Men vs. Street Fighter. So, yeah. Now we have MediEvil. This was a fun game. I really had a lot of fun with this one. Pretty difficult. I got the PSP version, but great characters, great atmosphere, that whole gothic vibe, cool enemies, and the Hall of Heroes where you get your upgrades too was pretty fun. And like the main character, he always had like fun dialogue with the other guys. So MediEvil. Now we have, in my opinion, the best game on PlayStation that you can get, Metal Gear Solid. I rented this so many times before I actually bought it. Bad on my part because I ended up getting up the greatest hits version. But what can you say about this? It's a legendary series, legendary game, in my opinion, of course. One of the best one ever. Cinematics, gameplay, story, just all around really good package. And now we have Metal Gear Solid VR missions. This one, it's just, as the title says, just the VR missions. Had some other modes to it, like a mystery whodunit mode where you find out who killed who. You can play as a ninja, some more stealth missions, and just destroy stuff. This one was a lot of fun too, even though it was just like a side game. Metal Gear Solid VR missions. Next, we have Rampage World Tour, very arcadey. You just go around, smash things, eat people. It could be the wolf, the lizard, or the gorilla. Over 100 levels. Yeah, just good fun. I don't know if they have this on Xbox Arcade, but this one should definitely be on it if it's not already. But I had a lot of fun with this Midway Rampage World Tour. Next up, Resident Evil Director's Cut, DualShock Edition, whatever. Start of it all, start of the Resident Evil franchise. I think Director's Cut is like the second or third version of it, or DualShock is the third version of it, whatever. But a lot of fun, very hard. If you go back to it now with all the tankish controls, it's going to be a chore to play, but still probably a lot of fun. Now, with 1 comes 2. Resident Evil 2. The introduction of Leon and Claire. 2 discs. 1 for each character. Which I hope Resident Evil 6 is like that. but I think they're just gonna split up the story into two with Leon and Chris. But this was fun, and how they're gonna have the alternate, which the alternate was worthy to play because they had the new, like, the Mr. X character, and very different. You know, I wish some more games go back to that, put a lot of effort into their stories and alternates and side missions, whatever, and new game pluses. But Resident Evil 2. Now we have Resident Evil 3, which was, in my opinion, my personal favorite Resident Evil. I just love the Nemesis character chasing you through all over the place. You know, at the time it was awesome. That big worm boss was always a pain in the ass, but great atmosphere, great vibe to it. And there's always that lurking, that fear that Nemesis is going to be right around the corner waiting for you. So, do have all three Resident Evils there. Really happy about that. Now, another scary as hell game, Silent Hill, the first one. I remember playing this till like 3 in the morning, and when I went to sleep, I still heard the radio interference when the monsters are near you. It scared the crap out of me. Almost beat it. I think I messed up. I didn't get like the blood pack or some certain point where you had to kill somebody, one of the bosses. I don't remember. Maybe we should pop this in, play it again. Silent Hill.